She is the owner of 507 Creative Group. Look at that. And she's going to talk about how you can be intentional with your social and how it directly plays into your goals. But I'll let her introduce herself more. Let's give her a hand.
Good morning, everyone. Like Corey said, my name is Brittany Voitis, and today we're going to be talking about intentional social. This is something that we talk about a ton at 507. Basically, what we'll go through today is addressing this gigantic disconnect that a lot of organizations have. And maybe you don't. And if you don't, fantastic. Please help out in the conversation. But companies, large and small, have this disconnect between business goals and all these business functions and departments, and then this like cute social media bubble over here, right? And you work super hard with really creative social tactics and really cool content. But when it comes to how did that drive sales, or how did that improve our customer service, people have no idea a lot of the time. So that's what we're going to go through today. And just let me know if this thing turns off. I don't know why it keeps just like going to sleep. I guess it's Friday, so. I guess it's really Friday. I don't really want to do this. There. Okay, so before we dive in, just real quickly, let's go around the room. Just share your name, where you work, and your favorite business that you like to follow on social media. Want to start?
Sure. I'm Rosie Bach. I work for Greater Mankato Growth, and my favorite, probably the Chamber of Commerce social media group. They have some great ideas on there.
Fun and relevant.
Yes, relevant.
Awesome. Thanks.
Paige Schutte, and I work for Vine, favorite business. There's so many.
I know.
Can I come back to that one?
Or you can say like one that you're like, they are terrible. That's fine too.
No, I don't want to be that person.
Well, I have a few examples, but.
Locally or like
no, anything.
nationally?
Anything.
Well, I'll go locally. So it's, I think Salvage Sisters does a really good job, especially on Instagram.
I love them. They make me spend so much money. Thank you.
My name is Mary Scott Revere, and I have a company called Side by Side. I follow the refinery in St. Peter, and she does a
Also,
great job.
spend way too much money there because of that. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Blake Rowell. I was with a company called Fussy. I guess I run the company. And then my favorite brand is called Asana Culinary. Asana is a task managed software, and Culinary is their in-house kitchen that works there. And they do basically social media of what they're cooking and nice branded posts.
I mean, you put food on there or dogs, and it's like, sold. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Corey Eggeman. I work in the Department of Theater and Dance. And I think that, this is kind of silly, but Callie by Carrie, it's Carrie Underwood's athletic wear. They do a really good job with social media.
Love it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm Stacy Lawrence. I'm the Director of HR and Communications at the City of Lesueur. I love Kristen Cavallari. I like Uncommon James.
Pleasure.
Thanks. Amber Power, Director of Communications for the College of Arts and Humanities, and Wendy's, their Twitter.
Ooh.
You have it? Yeah.
Never knew.
Yep.
Now I do. Thanks.
I'm Ashley of Success, and I don't know what the second part is of what we're doing. I just have to.
Your favorite business you like to follow on social?
Oh, I don't have one.
That's fine.
Hi, I'm Becky Wagner. I work at Business Magazine. There's too many that I follow. I can't even pick a favorite one, to tell you the truth.
That's fine. Thanks.
I'm Julie Nelson with the Small Business Development Center. We're located right downstairs, and we're part of MSU. I kind of agree with her, but I guess one that I like to follow is actually a nonprofit, is the Better Business Bureau. They offer a lot of great education and just business tips. They have offer a lot more than just a place for you to go and make complaints.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Thank you. Wes? Sure, yeah.
Wes Otto with Otto Media Group. I'm kind of a data nerd, and I'm clients on social media, so I love watching my own clients' pages. But if I had to pick a fun one, it's not even a business. Her name is Tasha Bell, and she's a travel influencer. And so she does all kinds of really cool posts around the different places that she goes, and she does local travel. So she'll do different areas like small towns in Minnesota, and that's always really cool.
It's like dream job. I'm just gonna travel.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, Wes.
I'm Matt Smith. I'm in Yvonne's management entrepreneurship class, and my favorite organization to follow on social media would be like Business Insider. Not really a business, but
Yeah.
keep you up to date on stuff. It's pretty cool.
It's like good little nuggets. Yeah. Thanks.
I'm Nate Hanna. I'm in the same class that he's in. I'd probably say Mankato Brewery.
Yes. So you know who's playing next Tuesday?
Yeah, I'd be glad.
Yep. Thanks.
My name is Lucy Hars. I'm a teacher at Loyola, so I actually have a group of students here with me from the Intro to Business class. So my favorite social media to follow would be the Seder Superstore.
Thanks. Yep.
All right,
Yep.
I'm Omar. I was a marketing student here, and I like following Nike. I like following this community.
They do an awesome job. Thanks.
I'm Amy. I'm also in Yvonne's class, and all these people are here talking. And I'd probably say too, just kind of like the athletic clothing brands like Nike as well as like Adidas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to see what they all kind of do differently.
And kind of like motivates you a little bit. Yeah. Thanks.
My name's Cody. I'm also in Yvonne's class, and my favorite social media page is probably Bleacher Report due to the video content they put out.
Awesome. Do you guys?
Sure.
Go ahead.
My name is Mike. I'm with Auto Media Group with Wes over there. I like following Zan's Mexican restaurant. That's because I get to see what Wes
best bean and cheese burritos in the world. I feel like they are my comfort food. That's best bean and cheese burritos.
Yes.
I'm Yvonne Caribou. I'm the director for the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship here. And I follow a Minnesota farm blog by a lady named Mwanda Pachi.
Yes.
And she's just awesome. And she's kind of like, she calls herself an advocate. And
I
she
like
advocates
it.
for people who are growing our food. And I think it's pretty cool.
It's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Can we put you on the spot, or do you need a minute? Just your name, organization, and your favorite business on social.
Good business Mankato. Business on social.
That you like to follow.
Can I say this in Mankato?
They do a really good job. Yeah. Thanks. All right. How about that round table?
I'm Maggie Keener. I am a marketing student and have my own business. And I like to follow this competitive swimming brand called Joe Lynn. They're
Yeah.
really quirky and like also like really engaging with their followers.
Fun. Thanks.
I'm Kaylee Hudspeth. I'm a finance student here at MSU, and my favorite brand to follow on social media would probably be like the DP show or Blake Connolly for Pure.
Yeah. Thanks.
Spencer, I'm a student. Your favorite brand would actually be like fresh juice.
Yes. Yep. As long as you've asked the food later. You said restaurants, right?
Yeah, just
Yep. All right. How about the high top?
I'm James Bach. I'm from Loyola, and I guess like the Wendy's girl.
Wendy's. Jeez. Who knew? Thanks.
I'm Lucas. I'm here for class. I don't think I follow any businesses on social media.
Okay.
I'm Wendy Harrison. I'm with Ledford Planning Center, and I like to follow Nature's Pantry. It's a national farm in Washington.
Thanks.
I'm Abigail. I'm also in Yvonne's class. I guess I like to follow like Nike and Adidas.
Yeah. Way in the back, hiding. Go for it.
My name's Chase. I'm in Yvonne's entrepreneurship class too.
We're getting some trends here. Thanks.
I'm Joey. I'm in Yvonne's class as well, and my favorite thing to follow is bodybuilders.
Yeah, they're good. All right, like swings and chairs. Go for it.
I'm Matt from Loyola, and favorite business would follow probably Nike.
Okay.
I'm Claire. I'm also from Loyola. My favorite business account is probably either Nike or Adidas.
Jeez. Let's all go to the gym after this. Okay.
I'm Noah from Wailoa, and my favorite brand of on social media is Barstool Sports.
Cool.
Sam from Loyola, and my favorite business follow is Little Guy.
Thanks.
From Loyola, my favorite business follow is Better Stone.
I don't follow. I'll have to check them out. Anybody hiding? Oh, sorry.
I'm Jacob. I'm in Yvonne's class, and my favorite business is probably track bicycle.
Ooh, yeah. Thanks. Good? Everybody? Oh, thanks. You're fine. Name, organization, and favorite business that you follow on social media.
So I'm Natalie Compart. I work for Minnesota State Southern Center of Agriculture, and I like to follow Target.
I know. Another one that like my checking account does not like. Okay, so my name is Brittany Woitis. I'm the founder and marketing strategist for 507 Creative Group, and I also had the opportunity to be an adjunct professor for St. Catherine University. I help teach their marketing courses for their MBA program. So let's dive in. All right, so first things first. And I know that there's a lot of you in here for class, but even within your classes, you probably have learned some stuff as far as like what to track and whatnot. So right now, if you're part of social media in any way at your organization, how do you know if your social efforts are successful? So what kind of things are you tracking right now to gauge your social media efforts? No wrong answers.
Probably how many likes a certain post gets, or how many views.
Yep.
Or how many people it's reached.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks. What else?
Coupon redemption.
Yeah. So you're like if they do a purchase online or something, or
Yeah, if you are a restaurant and say we're doing 2-for-1s,
Yeah.
mention this post or something like that.
Did anybody see Mankato Originals? Anybody work for Mankato Originals? Yeah. Yeah. No, just kidding. So they're number 4, like the free breakfast with the bloody. But this week you have to print off. Come on, I'm not gonna remember to print off a coupon, but I really want a free breakfast. So.
Okay, that's anyway.
No, but it is smart because that's a direct correlation to see this is the post we did in social and what we got out of it. What else? What else are we tracking up to see how our social efforts are doing? Yeah.
Engagement rate?
Yes. So are you just looking at the flat number, or tell me more about what you're...
Usually I'll, when I pull the report, I'll like share and comments divided. I think there's like a formula that I plug it into.
Versus like total reach or impressions or whatever. Yeah. Anything else? Okay. So all of those are good. But do you see kind of where, and sometimes it's difficult too, like in the marketing world, if you're not intertwined with your business, it's like, well, here's the info, have a good day, right? So there's this disconnect. Like, great, we got 15 likes, that's fantastic. And nobody said this one, but a lot of times I get from clients, oh, we just track how many new followers we get. Cool. What are they doing with that, right? So, for example, in one of the classes that I taught recently, we were looking at Patagonia, and on Facebook, they have a ton of followers. But when you look at percentage of engagement, it's extremely low, versus 507 Creative Group is very limited followers, but a high engagement percentage. So our audience is more engaged, which means it's a more valuable audience, right? But there's really no reason that social media shouldn't be directly tied into every single function of your business. And done correctly, it's very easy to see how it's impacting it. So there are 5 main business functions that social media can directly impact. I broke them into for-profit and non-profit. Honestly, they're pretty much the same because businesses should be run the same, right? But let's walk through each of these and just kind of shout out literally just shout out, no reason to raise your hand or whatever, but within each department, share how you think social could impact, or what should it be doing within each of those departments. So, sales. How could social help sales?
Drive people to purchase.
Thank you. Online, that coupon thing to go in store, right? What else?
Ticket sales for me in the Peter and Dance department.
Totally, yeah. What else? How about like a loyalty thing? So I'm thinking of Beauty Counter, the skincare line I use, and like I'm obsessed, and I just keep buying more and more and more. So kind of that repeat business, right? So it's not a one and done. So, and as far as tracking that, sales is quite easy to quantify too. So you've got your social platform, and then you've got your website analytics, right? So theoretically, you can see the traffic that you brought into the website from social and every step that they took to make that purchase online, if it's all online. It's a little bit more difficult if like you have to print off the coupon and go to the store, right? But still, you can see waves and you can see a correlation. Customer support. How could social media help customer support? Yeah, you probably do a lot of that, right? She said messaging or just communication, right? What else?
Education.
Totally.
Teach them something new.
Yeah. Yeah, or just general education so that they have realistic expectations too, right? Good. What else? I think the key here is that social, it's not a billboard. It's not a one-way, like, every couple weeks we go and schedule stuff and have a good day, see ya. It's meant to be a relationship builder and a two-way stream of communication very actively with your customer. And consumers have come to expect that. So if you're not engaging, they're no longer engaging either, right? They kind of gave up on you. Human resources. How could social impact human resources?
Job postings.
Totally. That's the easy one, right? Job postings. What else?
I think, just like social media can create a want and to make sales, it's a want to be a part, cause people want to work before the job posting even comes up.
One company in town that I love following is ISG. I just feel it's the employee owner thing, right? Where like they really care about their team, but I just think they do such a great job of. I'm just throwing out a random number, but I feel like 70% of their content is about their team and their expertise and highlighting them. So that not only makes you like really want to work there, but as their target market, you trust them so much more because they're positioning their team as experts, and they are, but they're just really showcasing it in a good way. Okay, public relations. How could social media impact public relations?
I've had times when I've posted things on Facebook and then had the local newspaper see it, and then they did a story about it. They call this up again.
Yeah, so all of a sudden you have this one nugget of content, and it's being shared across, and that's integrated marketing. So people are hearing and seeing it in different spots, and all of a sudden it's just exponentially more impactful, right? Good. And even sharing your own stuff. Greater Mankato Growth, Visit Mankato, you guys do that I think really well. Or even like when Mankato is featured as the best place to live in the world, which it is, sharing that's a platform that you can share it for free instead of like, hey, please talk about me, right? Business intelligence. How could social impact BI? Yeah.
Getting like feedback directly from social media.
Totally. Either like asking for feedback or just the analytics behind it, right? A great example is one of our clients was thinking about launching a new product line, and they thought it was awesome, but their target market did not. So they did surveys, and then we just really dug into the behavior data and found that the product line needed to be tweaked before launching because it just wasn't resonating with their target market. There's an insane amount of data you can collect through social, and you no longer have to guess with launching new product lines or new events or new things because you can kind of know before you even dive into it, which is very cool. Something it's creepy and I just love it. Okay, nonprofit. So a couple of repeats here. In a way, sales is very similar to outcomes, but nonprofit, they like to talk about outcomes more, right? So outcomes, aka desired result. How could social help impact desired results for nonprofit?
Get people to act.
Totally. Volunteer, become a member, buy tickets, right?
Seek services.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you guys have seen the Blue Earth County Historical Society, this year's annual gala is the night at the Speakeasy. So cool. I have my flapper dress already. So social media so far, and ticket sales end tomorrow, but it's probably attributed to 60% of their ticket sales. And in the past, the Historical Society, wonderful organization, target market, seasoned, right? So we're trying to be more specific in targeting a younger audience as well. And social was a huge part of that. Other outcomes that you can think of as far as nonprofit and how social could potentially impact desired outcomes?
Donations.
Yes. Oh, that's a huge one, right? Member support, similar to customer support, right? Just being available. Human resources, PR, those are the same. Member loyalty. So how could social impact member loyalty for nonprofits?
Seeing where their money goes, where their efforts go.
Totally. Yeah. So as a consumer or a person in the community, you're giving money, and then if you don't hear anything from them, you're like, so it was a tax deduction, but like what else? How did it benefit anyone? So yeah, sharing what they're doing that relate to their strategic initiatives. Thanks. Awesome. Go ahead and finish up, and then just give me your nice smile when you're ready to move forward. Lots of good smiles. Thanks. All right. Hopefully that helped. And if you're feeling completely lost or like Brittany, you make absolutely no sense, that's fine. Just come find me after and we can chat a little bit more about it. And know too, like we were just chatting about, this is not meant to be a deep dive session, then you move on with your life and never think about it again. Just anything on paper will help. And then just bring it back, whether you use this or however you want to organize this, just come back to it. I would recommend at least monthly, because you'll be able to start getting even more specific about different tactics and things you can follow. That way you can really see what little changes and how they're impacting your business, right? Okay, so we've talked a lot about different metrics that we can track. And I will start by saying there's no finite, like this is the list that is the best list and only list. These are just some of our typical go-to metrics that we track because we can follow them through and determine how they're impacting each business function. So you may or may not use these, and that's totally fine, but these are just, when we start working with new clients, this is kind of our like go-to set, and then we'll add or delete different metrics once we start working with them too. And what I can do too is after this, instead of you like writing down feverishly, I can create this as a Google Doc and I can upload it to the event afterward if that's helpful. Helpful? Okay. All right, so 3 of the most important metrics that we follow within social platforms. Engagement, so we talked a lot about that. And that's huge because you might start with a general rule of we're going to post this mix of content. A third is original content, a third is a call to action, a third is industry news or whatever. And you can start with that, and then you can start to gauge, all right, what's actually resonating, or what do they actually care about? Or there's certain words that you use that tend to like jump out at your target more often, or certain types of images, right? So engagement's really powerful because you can see really quickly what they want to see, right? Click-through rate, this you can track through both organic, so the stuff you're posting on your page, as well as paid ads that you might do through social or anywhere else. So that is for all the people in the world who have seen your post or your ad, how many people clicked on it? Pretty simple, right? For that one, higher the better, obviously. And then cost per click, so this is specific to like a boosted post or if you do a digital ad campaign. Total audience that saw your post and the percentage of those that clicked on it. So you take your total budget divided by clicks, right? And that's your cost per click. Lower the better. Make sense? For the engagement, there's no real finite rule as far as percentage of what we should have. There's different opinions. But that's more just something to keep in mind month to month to see if you're getting better or worse or what's happening. The click-through rate and cost per click, just do a simple Google search. You can literally type in click-through rate by industry, and there's an infographic by WordStream that'll pop up that'll show you based on your industry what your click-through rate and cost per click should be. So that's a really good way to say, how are we actually doing? So otherwise it's like, oh, we have a $1.50 cost per click. Great. What does that mean, right? So whenever possible, try to find benchmarks so you know how you're performing compared to how most people in your industry are performing. Okay? Then website. There's a ton of stuff you can track on your website, right? Like that could be a full-time job. Don't let it be. You can get really sucked in. Or maybe that's just the nerd in me, I don't know. So first of all, if you don't have Google Analytics or something similar set up in your website, I highly recommend it because most of your social, most often, the goal is to get them to your online storefront, right? Before they take some sort of action. Sometimes not, but more than likely, a lot of the stuff you're doing in social is to get them to engage and take that next step through a website. So some of the things that we watch, especially when we're starting a new social implementation plan, is acquisition percentage. So of all the audience on the website, what percentage are coming from social? An example of this is one of our clients thought they were doing just an awesome job on social. Don't need help, we got this, we're awesome. But it made up less than 1% of their website traffic last year. Maybe less awesome than you thought, right? Bounce rate. Yeah.
Where was the rest of it from?
Direct and referrals and email, yeah, just a lot of other things. The thing is, when you look at their social, it was like, here we are, and that was it. Well, then people aren't taking action because they say hello and move on with their day, right? Bounce rate. So some of you may know what bounce rate is, but the easiest way to explain it is, let's say you heard about a new restaurant in town, and you're super pumped to go check it out. You get out of your car, you walk in the door, you look around, it reeks, and you just walk right back out. You're like, yep, I'm good. That's bounce rate. So they had these expectations that you gave them through social or whatever. They got to your website and you're like, this is not what I was expecting, and they step right on out. Make sense? So the goal with bounce rate, if you can be under 60%, you're doing okay. You're doing all right. People's attention spans are quite terrible, so 60% might not sound super great, but just know that's okay. And of all the audience to your website too, only a percentage of those are your ideal target market, right? So part of that can be filtering like, okay, you're not our ideal target, and that's okay too. Considered excellent rating for bounce rate is about 30 to 50%, depending on your source. Which means like 50 to 70% are hanging out longer. Goal completions, this is a little more advanced. You may or may not have this, and it's totally fine. But on Google Analytics, you can set up different goals or parameters so you can track different actions people are taking. So if our clients have that, we'll watch that too. New versus returning. So this is of all traffic, how many of them are there for the first time versus coming back. And especially with social media, its impact potential to create this like loyalty and this club, and you know, your audience looks at you as like the go-to source, right? Over time, you should see that returning traffic increase, because that means that your social content is reaching them and keeping them coming back, like the refinery in my weekly purchases, right? And then behavior flow and site content. So, for example, we talked about sales, right? So you can see from your efforts on social what's coming to the website, and of that group of people, how they're walking through the website to get to that final sale. Make sense? A couple resources that we love that are both free if you want to know more about this stuff. First, you can always reach out to us. We're happy to help. But Facebook Blueprints, I think they do an excellent job. It's kind of an online, just like resource hub, and they have self-paced courses and stuff to help you get information about some more technical stuff. And Facebook especially is changing every single day. So there's just really good stuff on there. Just Google Facebook Blueprint and you'll find it. The other one is Google Analytics Academy. This is also free and awesome. We went through and got the certifications, and like we go back through because there's just so much there. But that'll help you really leverage your Google Analytics platform and make sure that you're actually using it effectively to connect all the dots, right? And that's going to break down that disconnect between business and social. Okay, then one other resource that we are really excited about is we recently launched 507 Club. So at 507 Creative Group, we help with strategy, web design, and marketing management. But as a service business, there's only so many people that we can help, right? And we're not the right fit for everybody, so that's fine too. So the 507 Club is a free members-only platform where you can go and there's downloadable PDF resources that you can use, like a marketing audit guide, brand audit guide, and then also online self-paced courses. And those specifically really dive in, kind of do a deeper dive of what we talked about today. And really the goal there is to just help a larger audience become more confident in their marketing. So go check it out. We'd love for you to become a member. So, what time is it? All right, we got some time for questions. What do you guys think? Thoughts, questions? Make sense? Totally crazy? What's one thing that you picked up from today that you hope to go back and use?
Writing it down and establishing clear goals.
You can't accomplish your goals if you don't know what they are.
And we all know that, but it just reaffirms that. Wait a minute, it's important.
It's harder, so it's super easy to say that, but it's really hard to do it.
Yeah.
Been there. Like, I had no goals for my business for the first 2 years. Totally honest here. And funny, as soon as I set some goals, we started crushing them. Super weird. Who knew? Thanks. What else? Yeah.
You said that a company or a social media brand, somebody, 70% of what they post is about their employees and their like work environment.
That was kind of a guess, but yeah.
But still, that's something that I definitely will take with me.
Yeah.
When I go further.
It's just super interesting because we all have followed those businesses where it's like product of the day, right? And it's like, come on, I already spent enough money, or like I know that you're selling stuff, obviously. But the more you can just create interesting, original content about the team, about what makes you stand head and shoulders above your competition, just like sharing your story, people love that. And there's just this psychology around seeing a face, right? Versus like, here's a product on the table. It's just gonna resonate more with people anyway. We have this like human nature to like want to engage with another human. So we try to, you'll see, if you follow any of our clients, you'll see that most of the graphics anywhere have a person in them, just because it's more engaging typically. What else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is your approach for, there's a lot of people, including myself, that are 1099 employees. So we don't have any direct control over the larger nationwide corporation that we work for, but we truly do own our own businesses. And I don't mean multi-level marketing. There's a lot of multi-level marketing out there that, you know, they have their own pages and that's great, but you know, for example, realtors, insurance agents. I'm an insurance agent.
Okay.
So do you then have your own page? right now I'm using my own personal page.
Okay.
You know, if I'm using my own personal page, obviously, you know, and, I have a couple thousand friends on Facebook, so, yeah, so if I have a lot, you know, that's a huge audience.
Right.
So I have a fear of doing myself a disservice if I start my own page and I have a couple hundred likes, you know,
Right.
so that I'm losing an audience there.
Well, and you're jinxing the algorithm because you're a human being, so Facebook is allowing your audience to see it, where businesses just recently again,
Right.
they changed the algorithm. So
Right.
good for you. Change
Right.
the system. No.
Right, right. But then you don't have the ability to you don't have the ability to boost posts from a business or on a personal page, right?
And the difficulty there too is it's hard when you own your own business because your brand is you in a lot of ways.
Correct.
But professionally and generally speaking, there should be you and a business.
Right.
If nothing else, for your own privacy.
Right. Right.
Well, there's other reasons too, but
Right.
that's the big one for me. Are you allowed technically? Because I know within the finance industry world, there's some regulations. Are you allowed to have your own social channels for your business?
Yeah.
There's probably just parameters of logo must be this
Correct.
size.
Yes,
that
there's
kind of thing.
logo parameters, but
Yep.
outside of that, there really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they do have rules about it has to be professional.
Right.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't post inappropriate content.
Yeah, right.
But other than that, you know, it's just
Yeah.
very generic.
I mean, my recommendation, just high level, without really diving in, would be to create a separate business profile or account, just to begin separating, and then by all means, share that on your personal page. Say, hey guys, I'm so excited, come follow along.
Sure.
You know,
So almost do
you can-
duplicate.
Yeah,
To make sure I'm not missing
you
the
can
larger
be your own
ones.
platform
Yep.
for promoting your page,
Yep.
but it's going to create a bit of separation, and more than likely going to add just a hint of more professionalism.
Yep.
By having that for yourself.
Yep.
And then from there, I can talk about branding all day.
Yeah,
But follow
absolutely.
master brand guidelines that they have.
Right.
But create your own voice.
Then create. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Absolutely.
So one really easy question to answer is, when people are engaging with you online, how do you want them to feel? And write that down. And then those words that you wrote down, start using that in your social media.
Yeah.
So if you want them to feel trust or integrity or welcoming, start using that in your social content, because then it's still your voice and not just Master Century 21 or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can talk about that all day.
Yeah. No, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Along that line, I just did this last year you can make your personal page, you can make a separate public page, and you can transfer your current friend followers to your, there's settings that you can do to transfer your followers and your friends to followers of your public page.
Oh, almost like for lack, not that I'm a celebrity by any means, but
No,
you mean
but
the
yes.
celebrities because you reach your maximum friend list because Facebook only allows you to have so many friends. So
Yeah.
in that circumstance, you then transfer it to
And
that
you
other
can
page.
split it, or not split it, but there's a way that you can create a page by making it public,
Mhm.
a page, and then transferring your friends to followers and keeping it completely separate.
Got it.
So
Thank you.
Okay.
That's super helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll look into that.
That would
That's
be
very
a
helpful.
good jump start versus just
Versus starting with 0 followers.
And because you are your brand, it's not
Correct. Yeah,
You
I
know,
don't. My
that
name
makes
is my business.
Right.
I don't have a
Yeah.
business name. My
Yep.
business name is a national corporation.
And that's there's just a whole bundle of unique challenges that you have.
Correct.
And I had this too, and it was just me by myself. This is me, this is my brand, but my personal brand is different than 507 Creative Group. And it took me a while to kind of figure out what that was. Because my brand is sarcastic and casual and wears leggings all the time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Amen.
507 Creative Group should be a little more polished, a bit more refined, wear real pants on some days, right?
Only half, though.
Right, yeah. What do you think I'm doing after this? So it's important to differentiate because your friends may not be all your ideal target market, right? So there's a difference there,
Absolutely.
so then the brand should be different too.
Mhm.
What else? Yeah.
So as far as platforms go, if I have limited time and resources,
yes.
so I'm a stay-at-home mom,
Yep.
I'm a toddler.
Mhm.
So where should I focus my
Mm.
energy to have the largest impact?
That's such a great question. I'm so glad you asked, because so many people just try to like, we're on everything, and they do a terrible job because you cannot.
Yeah.
Who has that much time? Especially. Yeah, you got a lot on your plate. What I would do is just, do you know kind of who your target market is?
Yeah, we've got a couple of different groups
Yep.
depending on what
Mhm.
we're doing.
Yep. So just do a simple Google search and say social channels by demographic. There's some really, really good infographics and stuff. And maybe, like you said, you have different target market segments. So maybe one channel is primarily for this bundle